This year has really flown. It's like now we're back to the beginning again. We're looking at goal setting. So you'll probably hear a lot of buzz in the community about setting goals and how to set goals. How many people are in the process of setting goals right now? Okay. How many people are going to have any goals at all for next year? Anybody? Who has no goals? Stand up. No. Anyway, if you've been goal setting, you probably, and then we probably already offset through a SMART goal setting seminar or workshop on how to do SMART goals. You have to be specific. What, why, and how. Measurable. What is the metric that will identify that you have attained the goal? Attainable. Is it actually possible to meet that goal? Realistic. Are you willing and able to do what it takes to make that goal? Then lastly, timely. Has to be a sense of urgency and accountability. So we've already seen that. So I'm not going to go into any of that. I'm going to talk about why you don't achieve your goals and some pitfalls that you want to avoid to make sure that you achieve your goals. Because let me ask you this question. We all said we're setting goals. Have you ever set a goal that you did not achieve? And most people, being honest, will say, I've set some goals, I've not achieved them. So we're going to really focus on how to not fall into that same trap, okay? Because the failure to reach the goal often did not come in the process of trying to achieve it. It often came in the process of setting the goal in the first place. You don't miss your goal because you're not good enough, because you're not smart enough, because you don't have the right equipment or the right connections. Most of the time you'll miss your goal because of the very process you did to create the goal. So let's talk about 5 mistakes in goal setting that will guarantee your failure in reaching that goal. There are 5 mistakes we're going to go over that you want to avoid. Now, before we go into the mistakes, let's talk about how we generally set goals. We normally use our reasoning to set a goal. We sit down, we try to figure out a goal. We use our reasoning, which is based on our logic, which is based on our current beliefs. I'm not going too deep into that because I have a short period of time. But the problem with that is, if you have limited beliefs, then guess what your goal is going to be? Limited. And you will never outperform your self-belief. So it really takes a great mind change to change your perspective on how you even start to put together your goals. Another thing we often use is our memory. The pitfall to that is sometimes we all, as I confessed, we haven't met our goals. If your memory is something that you didn't achieve, then you will have the tendency to repeat that. And what you're doing is you're looking back at the past and how you're going to do in the future. So again, unless you have good memories, we're going to talk about a little bit later on how to set those memories. You're going to be trying to duplicate something that you've done already in the past based off those memories. Now, this is how we should set goals. We should use our imagination, okay? Now, as adults, we probably have the least imagination of anybody. But think back as a child, the imagination you had, okay? And your goals, if you wrote your goals as a child, they were probably grand. If you write your goals now, you'll probably see that they're not as grand because you've lost the ability to use your imagination. Your imagination defines your future possibilities. So what do you want? What do you really want? Where do you really want to be? And often I say really because often we'll say what we think we should say as what we want or where we want to be. But what is it that you truly, in your wildest imagination, would like to achieve? We should also use our intuition. That's that inner knowing that you have. They say it's the God-given sixth sense. You know that you know. You know, I've heard someone say that prayer is you talking to God, intuition is God talking back to you. It's when you feel something that tells you that this is the right thing to do. Okay, so you have to really hone your ear to hear that intuition. Let's go into the mistakes, okay? And there are going to be 5 of them. We'll make sure you make none of these mistakes. But the first one is setting goals that you know you can do. You see this guy sitting here, he's comfortable. He's in his comfort zone. He's got his umbrella, he's relaxed. He's probably set a goal that's easy for him to achieve. Now the problem with that is this. He's too comfortable. He's not challenged. So he's trying to avoid failure. Now again, as an adult, we spend too much time trying to avoid failure. So everybody repeat after me. Failure is necessary.
Failure is necessary.
It is, and you will never do anything without first failing. Matter of fact, I'll give a quick example. This Thanksgiving, I was at my sister's house, Kathy, and I was watching my much older sister, Sandra, who had her grandchild, MJ, okay? And my mother was sitting on the couch, Sandra was on the floor with MJ. And MJ got up, well, Sandra helped raise him up, but he started to walk toward my mother, and he fell. Now, he failed when he fell, but he didn't stay down. He got back up, and he tried again, because as children, when we fail, what do? We just try again. When you're riding your bike and you fell off the first time, what'd you do? Did you stop riding bikes? No, you jump right back on again. But as adults, if we fail, we have a tendency to try to avoid that failure. And so by avoiding failure, we often avoid reaching our true goals. You must see the reward of success as much greater than the pain of failure. So again, because you really want to ride that bike, you really want to be able to ride, the reward for that is you'll take a few falls to learn. You'll fall to learn how to skate. You will take a few hits in football to learn how to avoid hits. So again, you have to have the reward mean much more to you than the fear of failure or the pain of failure. And this is a great quote from Abraham Maslow. We either step forward into growth or backwards into safety. And how many of us have retracted back into safety so that we don't expose ourselves to failure? What we're really doing is we're keeping ourselves away from opportunity. So we have to really look at not going back into our comfort zone by setting a goal that's easy to accomplish, but really stretch out and do something that's different, something that's just going to challenge you when you set your goals. The second mistake we make, and again, have a lot of engineers and architects in here, so planning is very, very important. But sometimes we miss our goals because we set goals based on what we think we could do according to a plan. And the reason plan, and again, everybody should have a plan, but the reason I have plan in all caps is because often we overemphasize the plan. And this is how that works out. You spend a massive amount of time analyzing conditions and circumstances to create this plan. Some companies go off on retreats, and they're going to put the plan together for the whole year, and they write the plan. They have experts come in to talk about the plan. They look at the market. They look at all the different trends and things going on. They come up with this great, great plan. But what's wrong with the plan? Things are constantly changing. By the time, before that ink dries on that plan, all those conditions could have changed. And if we're not careful, we become too invested in the plan and not in the goal. Okay, so we put so much time putting together this plan and how we're going to make this happen that when things start to change around us, we're so invested in the plan that we're not responsive. Okay? And what we do, which really hurts us, is instead of changing the plan, we will lower our goals to meet the plan. So let's say I started a business, I was going to do electronics. And so in my plan I spent all this time researching, this would be years back. And I wrote a plan. In this plan, I was going to have a section that was going to be all the TVs for people that I was going to be repairing. And over here was going to be all the VCRs I was going to repair and all the DVD players, okay? But in the midst of all that, what happened? Small LCD TVs, VCR goes out. Now, that's a whole completely different situation. If I'm not nimble and quick to change, and I said my goal may have been I was going to do $50,000 a month in VCR repair. Well, instead of changing my goal and saying, you know what, scratch that whole, take that whole section out, I'd rather say, well, now let's just modify that goal to $50 a month I'll make in VCR repair, okay? So you'll have the tendency to lower your goals to meet this plan if you find yourself too much involved in the plan itself. Third mistake, and this is a big one, we require